This is Black Shy Guy. You might find out why I'm giggly, and it's because of this man right here, Colby Covington. If you don't know who he is, his interviews just be off the chain. I'm telling you, I'm not playing around. His interviews just be funny as hell. I'm not lying to you. If you haven't caught the Colby Covington interview, I don't know what I don't know what you've been doing in life. I just don't know. I mean, you thought Conor McGregor was entertaining. Colby Covington is way more entertaining than Conor McGregor will ever be. Because, don't get me wrong, Conor McGregor is funny, but Colby Covington just takes it to another level. He's just entertaining. He's really fun to watch fight. And he's been great. Unfortunately, we've been missing him like crazy. I mean, his last fight, I believe, was in 2019 against Tyrone Woodley, where he literally put the man's tombstone on his grave. Literally, just destroyed him. And that's the last we ever saw of him. I mean, can we blame him for not fighting? I mean, he wants Usman. So, I mean, and after their first fight, which seems to be very close. A lot of people thought Colby won it, but I really thought Usman won it. Usman is a good fight also, and but I heard my boy telling me there's a lot of allegations being thrown out. I mean, let me know down in the comments if it's true. I don't think it is, but yo, if you got kind of proof or anything that's been shown that Usman is using, that's And when my boy told me that, I said, "Why you told me? I wanted to watch Colby say it." You know what I mean? Because you know how he gonna say it. Listen, I might get demonetized a little. I don't know what may happen, but I gotta watch this with you guys, and I need you guys to see my reaction, because I know that's the same reaction you guys have when you're watching Colby. But let's get into it, man. This guy is just freaking hilarious. Oh man, how the hell do I got listen? My bad.
2 hours later.
My Sony is on. All right. My bag. I ain't mean to, listen. Relax. Colby coming up right now. It's just I was gaming a little this morning, right? All right, let's go. All right, let's start it up.
You both sort of have ties to the area. Is that
Hold on, before we get into it, hit the like button if you really like this video. Hit the subscribe button and notification button for any upcoming new videos. Once again, this is Black Shy Guy, man. Thanks for sitting at my table. Let's go.
what you're thinking? Like, if you had it your way, we do this in Florida?
I mean, that'd be a dream come true, Mike. You know, to sleep in my own bed and be able to compete in the state that, you know, I live in.
I've been watching some of it. Yeah, let me...
Mike Bond here at MMA Masters
I mean,
with Colby
what is
Covington,
going on
and
with
this is
me
home
right
now,
now?
right? Colby, I see you training. Looks like you're putting in the work and everything.
A state
I was watching some of
a
it.
city that Marty comes to a lot. You know, he's been in Miami the last couple of weeks. I hear all these places he's been. You know, he's been at Hard Rock. He's been at Swan nightclub having meetings with managers. You know, he's been at Live nightclub and Fontainebleau. So this
is where I left off watching it, but I needed to make a video of it.
This is my city. I'm Mr. 305. I run the 305. So I'm Miami's finest fighter. I'm the best fighter to ever come out of Florida. So it'd be an honor to fight here. And, you know, we have a stadium that's right next door, the BB&T Center. We have a good relationship with them. I know the UFC does. It's the Florida Panthers. So, you know, the BB&T Center is where they play at, and we've done UFC fights there. So, you know, I think they have a good relationship with the UFC, and I've been talking to the vice president, Sean Thornton, and we're trying to get the fight done there. It makes sense. You know, Marty used to train here. He comes here a lot. He probably still, you know, lives here half his time. So let's do it in Florida, you know, and the UFC and DeSantis have a good relationship, and DeSantis has done a good job to let the UFC come back and be the first sporting event that has a full capacity and full crowd. So, you know, we owe DeSantis a couple favors. He's an amazing governor, definitely the best governor in the United States right now. So let's get this title fight, the biggest fight of the year. Let's get it done. The 170 welterweight title, Marty Usman versus Colby Chaos Covington.
I like the fact that he's very collared.
Has there been an official offer for this fight yet?
You know, yeah. I mean, there's been. I know the.
Well, Mike, it is official, basically.
I'm getting, you know, I know what's coming to the table. You know, there's definitely been an offer, and I've accepted.
It's the fight everybody want to watch.
It's really just up to Marty for when he accepts and when he's going to sign the contract. So, of course, he's going to use this fake, you know, narrative. Oh, I'm with my kid. Oh, I'm this, I'm that. But
here he go.
You know, He's just, you know, sitting doing nothing, you know, just hoping that he can get another lightweight to fight. Because if you don't notice, his last 2 fights were lightweight washouts. They weren't real welterweights. So, you know, he's just hoping that, you know, something's going to appear out of thin air where he can fight, you know, somebody that's irrelevant to the division like a Diaz. He's begging to fight, you know, a lightweight jobber in Diaz who's not even ranked and relevant to the division anymore. It's pathetic, man. He's making a mockery.
I mean, is it true, though? I mean, is it true? Hey, you know, it's in our minds, though. But Colby ain't playing, man. He lays it down for you. He don't hold back for nothing. That's why I like watching this man in interviews, man. Yeah, kind of bit him in the ass that last time when, you know what I mean? But, hey, he's entertaining. He's fun to watch. And he's so amusing.
Mockery of the division. He's making a mockery of everything that the UFC stands for, anytime, any place, anywhere. And, you know, I just can't wait to expose him sooner than later. He's either getting exposed or, you know, he's just going to walk away and retire from the sport because he's a coward and didn't want to face me again.
So you're going to get a cut of the pay-per-view? Is that what you said earlier? Did I hear that right?
No, you didn't hear that right, Mike. I said I would love for this opportunity to get this one, you know, and pass this opportunity, and then I'll be looking at pay-per-view. When you're a champion, that's when you get pay-per-view money.
Right, okay.
Come on, Mike. Gotta hear
Just
right.
want to clarify. Just want to make sure I
Come on now.
cross the T's and dot the old I's. I don't want to
Better.
misinformation out there, Colby. I don't want to spread any lies or anything like that. But
Yes.
you mentioned
Don't put the fake news out there, man.
I can't do it.
We don't need any more impartial, biased reporting, man. These fake journalists. Oh, I'm a journalist, man. You didn't even get a journalism degree. Stop acting.
This is what I like. Colby never lets shit go. He dives into it and attacks even further. He never lets shit go. He never just says what he needs to say. He needs to add the extra paragraph to add insult to injury. Not that he's insulting Mike, but he's just making his point even he's just solidifying more of what he had to say about that. I mean, that's what he does all the time.
Acting like you're a journalist. So, you know, just, you know, all I ask is be honest and don't listen to fake news.
Okay. Now we got that clarified. You mentioned Nate Diaz, and I know that
damn.
you don't typically watch these events.
You
do
just
pay
want him to say
attention
something
what is
about Nate.
happening. The welterweight division was of importance with that fight between Nate Diaz and Leon Edwards. So I guess, did you watch the event? Did you watch that
Here he
fight?
go.
You know, I definitely didn't watch that fight, and that fight was definitely not of importance to this division. You got a guy who's a lightweight, you know, Stockton soy boy Nate Diaz. You know, I don't even know if he's ever won a fight at welterweight.
The man said Sawyer boy. Listen, come, that's Nate. Come on now. He did a lot for us though, Colby. Come on now.
And if he definitely has a losing record at this weight class.
He
I don't know
does.
the last time he won a fight in general, 5 years ago. So it's on par and on course for the fights that Edward Scissorhands gets, and he wants to fight another guy that's irrelevant. And you know, I didn't see the fight. I was out supporting my teammates, Mike. You know, I was at Premier Fight League, the best amateur world MMA show in the world, watching a good training partner of mine, Richard Mayo, go out there and win the title, and all my training partners at Colby Covington Incorporated, MMA Masters, putting on a good show. So I didn't have time to see that preliminary fight at 170. You know, I only watch headliners and title fights. I don't got time for amateur hour.
The way I looked at this fight heading in, and some people don't think it's all that fair because of the streak that he's been on,
You gotta admit it. It's not amateur hour watching Edwards and Nate. And let's get it out there. We know Nate got hurt before the fight with Edwards, so everybody assumed that Edwards was gonna take that match. It wasn't hard to tell, especially the fact that Nate got injured. So not only did Nate not fight for a while before he got in the octagon with Edwards, but also he got injured on top of it. So how off was Nate gonna be? He was gonna be off. And even though he was that off, that's what's scary. Even though he was that off, he still went all the way to the final round with Edwards. That's crazy. For a man to be out of the octagon, also on top of that injured, it has to refamiliarize himself with the octagon and to still make it all the way to decision with possibly the -- 1 contender against Usman next to Colby Covington, that's crazy. You gotta admit it. You gotta give it to Diaz. And that's why I say he's not a wash-up, man. The man is freaking legend, period.
I went into this one thinking, unless Leon Edwards knocks Nate Diaz out in the first minute of the fight, I just didn't see a world where Leon was going to jump the queue and get a title shot before you, especially with the way Dana has been hyping the rematch up. I assume you were not losing much sleep heading into Saturday.
You know, I don't ever lose sleep no matter what. So
Mike know what he's doing. I'm sorry that I'm stopping this a lot. Mike know what he's doing. He know what he's doing because he know who Colby Covington is, and the little ad-libs he's adding and adding people's name, he know that's going to set up Colby. He know it's going to set him off. So come on. Come on, Mike. But I like what you're doing, Mike. I see you. I see you, my dude.
Direction that the world takes it, you know, I'm just happy to be here, man. I'm very thankful, Mike.
We happy that you here, my dude.
I come from, you know, a very poor town in Oregon, and you know, the upbringing that I was raised on, you know, my parents, you know, were struggling to make $20,000 a year for the whole family, you know.
And he a true American, for real.
You know, I'm just thankful,
Colby,
man. I've made myself into a multi-million-dollar business, and you know, my life's going to be great no matter which way we go. But at the end of the day, I'm a blue-collar, hard-working American. I'm going to keep putting in the work, Mike. I work hard every single day.
What I said about that, he a true blue-collar, man.
It doesn't matter what type of direction they want to go with their business. I'm just going to stay ready and keep preparing and having that, you know, hard-to-kill mentality that the military has instilled in me.
So you feel like there's zero chance Leon gets the next shot before you do?
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious, you know.
Come on, Mike. It's
quadruple down, 10 times down on it. You know, this is the fight, you know, that everybody wants to see.
Everybody wants to see the second fight between him and Usman.
Fought, you know, Marty Usman, and it wasn't even competitive. He lost every single round. You know, I beat Marty 2-3 rounds out of that 5-round fight, and you know, I probably was going on to beat him if you know, Mark Goddard didn't save his life and give him a couple of life rafts, stop the fight when I kicked him in the liver, give him a nut shot. And then obviously the early stoppage, I stood up right away and protested, you know, so this needs to be run back. There's no other fight. You know, I came back, I beat a former champion. My last 4 fights of wins are all former UFC champions. So no one has the resume that I have in this sport. No one's done the things that I've done in this sport, the history I've created, the moments I've created. So, you know, Marty can keep, you know, pretending that he's some god, but, you know, I'm going to bring him back down to earth really soon.
I mean, Usman is a force, though, Colby.
Is it
Come
fair,
on now.
like, would you say it's at least fair to say that Leon Edwards' next fight should be for the title? Like, not your shot, not the next shot, but maybe the winner between you and Usman? Like, has he earned that spot, or do you think he still has to win another fight, maybe 2?
Yeah, he definitely needs to come back. What's he on, a 1-fight win streak now? I mean, his last fight, he should have been DQ'd. Edward Scissorhands poked the guy in the eye like 2 or 3 times, and he was warned in the back by Herb Dean, hey, don't poke in the eyes, keep your hands closed when you're throwing punches and blah, blah, blah. He didn't listen to instructions, and he broke the rules twice. So, you know, his winning streak's broken up. He needs to come back and beat somebody relevant, somebody in the top 5. You know, come beat somebody relevant in the division, and then you can get a title shot. Besides
I do agree
stop
with.
Crying. You're a mumbling, fumbling idiot. No one wants to hear you talk. Your accent is a joke, and your fighting's even worse.
Oh, Colby, come on, Colby. Come on now. You're going too deep right there, my dude. But you're funny.
Is there a part of you that understands his frustration, though? Because once upon a time, you were a guy winning fights. You were a guy having a hard time finding fights. You wanted a title shot. Many people felt you deserved this title shot.
That's true.
And people would argue that you deserved a shot well before you got
Keep
the fight
preaching,
with RDA.
Mike.
Can you at least understand and somewhat appreciate where Leon is coming from?
I cannot, Mike. You know, I give credit where credit's due, and I can understand scenarios and situations, and his scenario and situation is different because he's the one that backed out of the Woodley fight originally. And then, you know what? There was people fighting during the whole pandemic during COVID. He didn't want to fight. He was turning down every single fight that got offered to him.
I don't think he was turning down fights, was he? Let me know down in the comments. I don't think he was turning down fights.
Didn't want to fight anybody, backing out, turning down fights. Meanwhile, everybody in Europe is going around flying, fighting, you know, during COVID.
I don't think he was turning down fights.
You know, and he's just sitting on the sidelines just trying to wait and pick and choose his fights. So, you know, he did it to himself. The UFC knows that he turned down a lot of fights, and he wasn't ready to fight. You know, I've stayed ready. I've prepared myself. I've kept myself ready for short notice at all times. You know, the last couple fights, I was ready to fight on a day's notice, on a week's notice. I told the UFC, and they saw my willingness and readiness to be able to fight on such short notice. So that's why I'm getting rewarded, because, you know, I put in the work and I've stayed ready, and I've always been ready.
I didn't knew this interview was going to be this good, man.
So another piece of this puzzle seems to be Stephen Thompson, because he's on a nice run right now. He's getting ready to fight Gilbert Burns, who fought for the title in his last fight. He is a fresh matchup for Usman. He seems interested in a Wonder Boy fight at some point. How do you like Wonder Boy's chances against Gilbert on July 10th?
Well, the thing is, you know, the Karate Kid, which is a joke, he's still calling himself a kid, Mike. I mean, the guy's a 40-year-old virgin. He drives kids around in a karate van. He wants to call himself a boy. No, you're...
This man don't stop, man. Calm down, Colby.
You're a grown-ass man. You're almost a grandfather now. We see the gray hairs coming out on the side of your head. So, you know, if anything, that guy needs to stop complaining, man. He had, what, 2 or 3 title shots? He's had more title shots than anybody in this division. He got destroyed by Woodley, got dropped, bloody. Man, the guy's a bum. I don't know why he's trying to talk like he deserves a title shot. You just got knocked out by
Woodley was
Anthony
good
Pettis,
with one time.
like a year or 2 ago, a lightweight, a guy that's not even signed by the UFC anymore. You're on a 2-fight winning streak. Your last fight, you were beating a busboy for Outback Steakhouse. Think about that for a second. The guy is a joke. Yeah, it's karate. I mean, he thinks he's cool with his karate. He's not a well-rounded fighter, and you know, he doesn't deserve anything, Mike. He's already had his title shots, 2 or 3. You know, he's had more title shots than anybody in this division, so he doesn't deserve anything. You know, honestly, he should probably just retire. He's gonna get hurt.
You think he's gonna get hurt?
He's gonna get hurt, Mike, for sure. He's gonna come back for a paycheck, and these guys don't know when to leave, Mike. You got to know when it's your time to hang it up. Your time's passed, buddy. You're gonna get really hurt if you want to.
That's true. A lot of people don't know when to leave. You know what I mean? And that's what I do give props to Ronda Rousey about. She knew it was time. She knew it was time for her to leave. She was like, you know what? The fighters that are coming up now are way past my abilities, period. I'm a bounce. And, I mean, come on now. Holly Holmes showed her. I mean, the ability to striking, Rousey knew she was not at that level. And she was just going to get embarrassed even further after her comeback loss. So it was she called it quits. She knew when to leave, but a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people just don't know when to leave. They just continue, and all they're doing is making their career an embarrassment. So, I mean, you got to know when to call it quits.
Stay in this, and you know, but some guys, you know, they're willing to take a paycheck, you know, to ruin
it's
their
not
health.
all about a paycheck. You got to know when to leave.
The main event of that card on July 10th, your former teammate Dustin Poirier will look to put a bow on that trilogy with Conor. I know there's no love lost between you and Dustin these days, but I guess putting your
you don't like him.
Your just analyst hat on for a moment, if you will. Do you see Dustin?
You're going to give him the analyst hat.
Do you think Conor makes the appropriate adjustments in a 6-month stretch?
You know, I don't know what's faker, Dustin's personality or his wife Jolie's fake gimmicks for tits. So Dustin is a complete joke, Mike. I mean, I have video footage that I'm going to release to the fans very soon to show what type of person Dustin truly is. Everybody hypes him up to be some charitable guy, some nice guy on camera, some nice guy offside camera. Oh, he's a family man. Oh, he has a kid. Yeah, his kid and his wife are props. He's a fake piece of shit. The guy is a dirtbag. I have a video of him knocking out an amateur in the gym, and he's celebrating, dancing around, yelling in the guy's face. And
wow.
Justin, who are you trying to impress? Dude, it's a closed practice. You're knocking out a guy that came to help you, and it's an amateur. You knock this kid out, give him a concussion. Leave him,
I want to see that tape.
His head shaking. You're yelling in his face. Like, what does that mean, dude? You're not a UFC world champion. You're training for Khabib. This isn't Khabib. You didn't just win the world championship. You're in a close practice, you know, beating a guy that's a humble amateur that came to help you out for your training camp. And you're not going to concuss this guy, and you're screaming in his face and new and woo. Like, dude, you're not even checking on him to see how he is. I mean, dude, the guy is just—he's not what everybody says he is. He's not a charitable guy. He uses his charity as a tax write-off, Mike. That's nothing more than a tax write-off. And, you know, he's not a good person. So I can't wait to expose him to the whole world because, you know, I trained with him for a couple years at our old gym, so I know the type of person he is day in and day out. And, you know, I'm gonna expose him soon.
Yo,
Do you think he beats Conor again?
I want to see that recording. I want to hear what
yeah,
he
he'll
said.
probably beat Conor again, but
What, Colby? I don't know. Conor looks way more focused now. He looks way more focused now. I don't know. I don't know if he'll beat Conor this time. I really don't know. Like I said before, Conor better win. Conor better win because despite even though before it looked like Conor just wants paychecks now. I mean, he already devoted his time to the UFC. He seems content. He seems content to what he accomplished. So it seems like now he just wants paychecks. But the thing is, though, he loses this match. Now you're almost going to be looked at like as a joke. You know what I mean? You can't lose. You can't lose this match. You can't lose this match to Poirier. You can't. You got to win this one. You got to show him that, yo, it was a fluke. You got me when I was just chilling. I just came back. Get a check. My pockets are fat. All I wanted to do was fight you and beat you, but I underestimated you. I got that, but now I'm back. I'm gonna show you why I was the best and why I'm still considered one of the best. But if he loses this one, Conor, I don't know.
you know, I mean, what is that saying? You know, beating a guy that has no motivation left in the sport. You know, and I love Conor. I think he had a great career, great fighter. He's done great things in the sport. But man, your time's up too, man. Like, you're not hungry anymore. It's obvious that you don't train every day and you're not working.
See what I'm saying?
Craft. It's obvious you're just working, you know, for other business deals and aligning your pockets and padding your bank accounts. So it's just,
exactly. Speak the truth, man. You see what I'm saying? Conor don't give a shit anymore. He doesn't give a shit anymore. Conor is like, yo, I got my pockets fat now. You know what I mean? My pockets is fat. My pockets stay swollen. So I don't need to focus on all these fights or even really win them. I just need to get another paycheck. Because remember what Conor was saying, all he wanted was his family to be provided for. And he got that now with all the businesses, all the accolades he's developed. I mean, it's over. I think it's over for him. I mean, and over for him when it comes to fighting. Because he already accomplished a lot, and he's done a lot for the sport. So does Conor really need to fight again? He doesn't. He doesn't really need to fight anymore. Especially after that paycheck he got for fighting Floyd Mayweather. He doesn't need to fight anymore. I mean, it's a wrap. Conor is established. It's a wrap.
It's not the same hungry Conor from a couple years ago. It's a different Conor that's, you know, towards the end of his journey, and you know, it's not saying much to beat him anymore.
I want to talk about one more past teammate and then a couple of your current teammates before we wrap this up. But I'm sure you've talked about this already. Tyron Woodley, no longer with the UFC. He is venturing into the world of pro boxing. He's getting set to fight Jake Paul on August 28th.
Really talking about Tyron Woodley, man.
You have done interviews and you said something to the extent of he needs money. He's going to take a dive. Why do you feel that way? Like, do you really think that he would take a fall when there's so much at stake?
If y'all didn't see my last video about Tyron Woodley when it pertains to this fight that he's having, the fact that he said Tyron is going to take a dive, that will really destroy Woodley's accomplishments in the UFC. Even though it's boxing, he would be looked at as a joke for the fact that he lost about 4 in a row already. And now he's going to fight boxing against this dude. And if he loses that fight, you know how much of a joke he's going to be looked at? It will be bad for Woodley to throw this fight. I'm going to just say that. Yeah, your pockets will be swollen, but you will be such a joke. You won't be able to walk in the streets or even walk in an arena where an octagon fight is taking place, because everybody would just look at you and laugh. They won't look at you as an icon or someone who used to be a champion and considered one of the best. You'll be looked at as a joke. Do not ever enter a UFC entertainment cinema, especially when it's a big fight, and proclaim that you are one of the best after you lose this fight. You'll be a joke. You better stay at home watching all the matches of the UFC. Don't show up to any event, dude. Don't show up if you lose this fight to any event.
Stake for him?
so much at stake. You know, the only thing that's at stake for Woodley is paying his alimony, paying all his ex-wives, and putting food on the table for his like 4 or 5 kids that he has. So, you know, he's got multiple
Got that
kids
many
with
kids?
different women. So he's got a lot of mouths to feed, Mike. And there's no doubt that, you know, I took all the shame and all the dignity that everything Woodley has. You know, he already faced his biggest fear, you know, me, and all the verbal harassment that I gave him, and then the physical harassment that I gave him inside the cage, and breaking his will. And he died inside the octagon when he fought me. That was the last of Tyron Woodley. That was the ending of his great career. You know, a former champion that did a lot of good things in this sport.
Man said he
but he's
died.
done, man. He's washed up, and there's no doubt he's going out there to take a dive, Mike. I can promise you that. He has no dignity. There's no shame left in him after I was done with him. So, you know, if anything,
Tyrone, you take a dive? Don't talk to me.
Snake Paul needs to call
He ain't
me
talking
and
to me
ask for
anyway.
permission, you know, because I am Tyrone Woodley's legal guardian. So have your little slime bag people from Hollywood call me Snake Paul, and I'll sign off on my son Tyrone Woodley fighting you.
Wow,
Let's just
son
say, for the sake of argument, that he is approaching this fight. He is taking it seriously. Everything's on the up and up. He's going in, trains hard.
My
Jake
God.
goes in, he trains hard. Do you see a way Tyron wins? Do you see a way Jake wins? Like, is there a part of you being an MMA guy that, even though you don't like the man, that you'll be rooting for Tyron to beat Jake Paul? Do you even care?
I don't even care, man. It's such a circus sideshow, Mike. It's not real fighting, man. It's a fake fight. It's a fake fighting. These are all people that are taking dives. Did you not see the last show that they had? I mean, they're having Justin Bieber perform at halftime for like an hour and a half during intermission. I mean, it's a complete joke, man. They got this little YouTube fighter who's not a real fighter. Jake Paul is a complete joke. I've had amateurs at my gym, Colby Covington Incorporated, MMA Masters, that have went out to help Jake Paul with sparring and training in Miami. And they came back and they all said the same thing. He sucks. He's no good. Kid's not a real fighter. They're just covering up. You know, he's a big draw because he's got, you know, all this Disney following and this little YouTube kids that all follow him and stuff. So, you know, he's not a real fighter. If Woodley really
I mean,
showed
we
up,
all knew
you know,
that,
and took it serious, he'd knock him out.
ain't.
But he's not going to take him serious. He's going to get paid a couple extra million to take the dive. And I think that's pretty apparent. When they had their face off, you know, Jake was yelling stuff, oh, why don't you put your purse down then? Put your purse on it. And Woodley's like, nah, he didn't want to risk his purse because, you know, he knows he's going out there to take a dive. And he doesn't want to risk those couple $1 million that he's getting.
You mentioned MMA Masters. I want to talk about one of the up-and-coming welterweights at MMA Masters. Miguel Baeza just went through one of the most exciting fights of the year thus far. Suffered a tough loss to Santiago Ponzinibbio. How has he responded to that loss? What kind of potential do you see from him moving forward? Because he looks like a stud to pretty much everybody.
Yeah, Miguel is a stud, man. He works extremely hard. He's dedicated to the martial arts and improving his game every single day. So, you know, his ceiling is very high, Mike. I see a bright future for Miguel.
Finally,
he's
a compliment, Colby.
Exciting fights. He's always going to be in those fight of the night type fights.
He's
going to get a lot.
We
of
knew he was going to
performance
compliment that
bonuses,
man, though.
That's just the way he fights. He's explosive. You know, he's a great fighter, and he's only going to learn from that.
How many
fight. That
months
was his
more?
First real experience of a test. Of
Just
a
4
fight,
more minutes.
of a
Just
real
4 more
fight,
minutes.
A high level, top, world class fight. So
Really appreciate you guys
he's only
joining me
gonna
for
learn
this.
From him. He's going to come back better. He realizes the mistakes that he made, and honestly, I just see unbelievable ceiling for Miguel Baeza and accomplishing great things in the sport of MMA.
Another teammate of yours will be fighting on July 10th. Nico Price is fighting Michelle freaking Pereira. That fight is absolutely insane. How's Nico kind of looking at that fight? Because that is just a wild fight that everybody just got
this interview
super
happened like
enthused
when
about they heard about it.
I think the date said the 15th, right?
Yeah, man, that's going to be a great fight. Nico is just one of the most exciting fighters on the whole.
I'm going to finish off the rest on my own time. But there you have it. You know what I mean? Colby Covington's interview. We all can't wait for Colby Usman, the next fight. I don't know when is that going to happen. So far, if you've seen the first couple of minutes of that interview, he was talking about it. He was basically talking about Usman dodging him or whatever the case may be. Usman, I know you're not. No one, well, I don't know you. I'm just saying. You seem a man that's fearless. Dude, just sign them papers. We want to see this match again. We want to see it. Both of you guys are magnificent in what you do. It will be great just to see you guys go at it again. Hopefully, the best winner comes out on top. Anyway, this is Black Shy Guy. Thanks for sitting with me on this reaction to Colby Covington's interview, which is always hilarious. He's always on top of his game when it comes to interviews. But anyway, hit the like button for this video if you really enjoyed it. Thanks for joining me on this reaction. I really appreciate it. This is Black Shy Guy. Thanks for sitting at my table. I'm out of here. Peace.